Hi, I'm George, and welcome to my channel. And this is just a little, I guess, sword review, collection review. Not really gear, because I'm not going to super get into stuff that's not weapons. I have weapons. But yeah, this is just what I have at the top of 2023. Just see what I have and how my collection will grow and change throughout this coming year. Because hopefully I'll do another one of these next year. And as I get new gear, and this isn't going to be necessarily a review on these pieces. Most of the stuff is stage combat, so training weapons and things like that. Though I do have a couple. I don't have any like sharps, like real ones, but I do have a couple ones that are for different uses. So I might get into some of those reviews at some point, or if people request them. I probably will because I have some strong thoughts about some things, and I'll touch on them here. But this is just a general overlook at all of my gear in this wonderful. I think it's all here in on my sword rack, which there will be a video coming out soon-ish about how I constructed that because I made that thing 100%. No real, it's all just from my brain. Didn't use anything else, so that video is going to come out. And then also I got my little hanging guys. So without further ado, let's get going. So to start off, I'm gonna start with my smaller pieces and build up to my like swords and things, which you can see, but get some close-ups on them. So for that, I'm gonna start with knives. So I've got a bunch of these. See, I got a bunch. I'm gonna lose all the ones. Yeah, so I got a bunch of these. These are just my training knives, or like rubber. These are, I think, all cold steel except for this Boeing. No, this is Boeing. This is not a plane. This Bowie knife. They're all cold steel. Because I had like a deal or something from some website. So I got a bunch of them. I just wanted to try them all, so I got different ones. I didn't repeat any. I don't remember all the names. I think this is like the trench. This is one of my favorite. Again, I don't. I think this is. I'm gonna say Japanese style, but I don't actually know the technical or official name for this kind of knife. But this is definitely the one that feels the best, and I just like the most. The one that feels. I mean, we have also like this one, which is very typical knife. I also like this one. Just has a nice handle to it. Again, don't remember the names. Maybe if I remember them, they'll be on screen. But then, yeah, the Bowie I got for like knife training for my HEMA stuff. So I like that one. Oh, speaking of HEMA, I did also forget I have one more fake knife. So let me be right back. Sorry, I forgot about this one. My Rondell trainer, which is my actual HEMA knife. Um, this one, I actually don't know the brand on this. I don't think it's branded. This one, is this cold steel as well? This is cold steel, so this is cold steel um, as well. If that will focus on there. Kind of. It says cold steel. So this is cold steel. I guess all my training knives are cold steel. They make good rubber weapons. So I've been stabbed with these a bunch. Used on my arms a bunch, and I like them. Again, not necessarily a review of them right now. That might come in the future. But I got a bunch of knives. There we go. It's gonna not reorganize these until later, so just gonna toss them off to the side. Oh no, I have glass over there. I do actually have glass over there. I have like some string lights that are on the ground for no reason. All right, so moving on to my actual. I believe these are aluminum. These are Rogue steel. Most of my training metal weapons are Rogue steel. I'm gonna fact check myself later, but I believe they're aluminum. If not, they're steel. This one is one I've had for a while. I think 3 years, and then I got this green one recently. I really like these. These are just the standard. I can't remember what the name on the website again. Maybe I'll put it up. But these ones I really like. They have a bunch of. They have like karambits and stuff like that, and actual like daggers. But I like the paracord. Looks not super fancy, but it's really comfortable. Because it's just a metal body. They're completely dull. I mean, they're still like pointy, but they're completely smooth. They're great for stage, and they have a nice weight to them. They're very well balanced, so they can flip pretty easily. They look great on stage and screen, and they feel really great. So I really like these. Those are my two metal knives I have. And then, well, I actually have more metal knives. I have two of different quality. I never remember Bally Song butterfly knives. These are both trainers. I don't have any sharps, like I said. This is the first one I had. I also have a bottle opener somewhere. And so this one is just like a really I think I got this one on Amazon. Really cheap, like $10 if that. It's okay weighted. It says Moonboat on it. I don't know if that's the brand. Is that going to focus? Yeah, there we go. Moonboat. I don't know if that's the brand or just the style, like whatever the name of the knife. The catch did break off, so that's that. That one's pretty straightforward. Right now, the trainer I'm mostly using is this one, which is from Boker. This one I think was like $50 ish. So again, maybe I'll do actual reviews because I think I'm getting another butterfly knife trainer that has a different kind of blade. This one I really like. This one I have used in like 1 or 2 stage combat scenarios. Again, like holes in the blade's not super great, but since it's actual like shiny metal, it does read on stage. It again completely smooth, so easy to grab, pretty easy to read for your partner. Its balance is pretty well. Like its balance, there's a little bit of slack in there. I did the screw on this bottom bit did come out, so right now it's held on with a paper clip and some electrical tape. I did stab myself at one point with the paper clip, which is why the electrical tape's on there. But the catch is nice. But you see like these little like there's a little bit here that's supposed to hold it in. The screw in there came out, so then it just got all wiggly, and I didn't like that. So that's that. Can I do a flip? Yes. All right. So those are my butterfly knife trainers. Moving on. My last smallish rubber weapon, which I haven't really used in a fight. I've done a little choreography with this, just messing around. Got this tomahawk. I got this because I don't really have a lot of the skill set, though I got to watch a lot of fun videos on self-defense, so that was fun with the tomahawk. A lot of catching, a lot of stuff that does not seem fun if you're the one that's being done to. I was choreographing a show, and like one of the people was a woodsman, so I was like, oh, we could use a tomahawk, but then we ended up just using a knife. But a lot of the choreography remained the same. But I got to use this buy this fun little tomahawk trainer. Again, this is cold steel. It's pretty well balanced. I really like this style, where you can really hold on the neck, and then it has nice ridges. So that's just my little axe guy that I want to use more, actually. So, all right, I'm gonna do some weird ones that aren't necessarily stage combat. I just have them. All of these little guys. I got some parts here for single swords. I got 3 blades. I got these from the blacksmith from my sword guild. So if I end up building single swords, which I have some other parts, I have to get some more stuff, I'll probably give him a shout out and everything. But yes, so I just have blades. I'm gonna put these back because this Greek-esque sword, this is just plastic. I got this when I went Halloween shopping and I saw it because I like Percy Jackson. I do visual effects, and I know there's a new TV series coming out, so Riptide, pen into a sword. I was like, maybe I could use that at some point. And it looks kind of cool. I like the design, so maybe something will come with that. Maybe not, but this is just plastic, so this is kind of nothing. Similarly, right now, I hope to get an actual like useful katana or other style of sword, but right now I have this one. This one again, got it when I went Halloween shopping. It's plastic. I put some tape on the blade and actually put a metal rod in here so it's a little bit structurally sound and has some weight to it. I got this one because I really love that scene in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, where he pulls out the power of love or the power of spoiler self-respect from his chest, and I want to recreate that. Still working on that. At some point, I'll actually have the gumption to do it. But I needed a quick katana, and this, again, was like $12 that I just modified. So that lives back here now. Other weird ones. I got a bunch of dowels. I probably won't go through all of them, but just, for single sword or lightsaber. Really cheap. Practice with them. It's also great for stage combat because they're wood, and they're not, like, they're pretty strong, but, like, you can really tell if you're whapping and not casting or, like, being safe with dowels really easily. So they're a great training tool. I added a little bit of like wire and stuff in the bottom, so they're a little bit weighted. They're still pretty top heavy. I guess I do have one more knife. I have this big, again, Halloween shopping. This is foam. So I got a big fake Bowie knife. That's just foam, so it bends and it's pretty soft. Ow. But so I have that as well. Lightsabers. So I'll start to get into those. I have a couple that I built myself. When I probably spent more money building some lightsabers than I would have if I would have just bought the same number of like good ones. So this first one is my final build, which I used I think I can't remember the tutorial, but a bunch of them. I kind of merged them all together. The handle has some copper bits. It has PVC and a little bit of metal. You can see it light up there quickly. I put the electronics in this one, so I did that fully. The blade's maybe a little long, but it's that good stuff. I can't remember the name of the tubing. But it's a good hard plastic, not plexiglass, but the stuff like that. I'll put it on screen. I got a nice tip, and then there's the some foil or some like wrapping material inside to diffuse the light. So if I push this big, nice red button, it lights up. But you can see it's green. It's pretty sturdy. The handle's a little rattly because just the batteries in there. I think I probably could have cushioned that a bit more. But it works pretty well for moving and for fighting a little bit. But it's just kind of cool. I made a lightsaber. All right, and speaking of making lightsabers, I have this one, which I was doing some experiments with. This one, sorry, which the handle it just comes out. So I really like the handle on this one. This is literally just 1 or 2 pieces of pipe from Home Depot, but it looks really simple and cool. And this it's not gonna will it work over here? No. Oh, a little meh. See if I can get this is basically a retroreflexive tube. I turn on my overhead lights, so sorry for this lighting change. Nah, a little bit. Maybe again I have an example at the end of all my lightsabers. But this is retroreflexive tape right here, which means I was really interested in the original Star Wars, how they did the lightsabers. So I went to like 3 different Home Depots to get all their retroreflexive tape because I didn't want to wait to order it. So this is like the stuff that you have in like reflective vests and stuff. So if there's a light coming from the camera, bouncing back into the camera, it'll reflect off this and look like it's glowing. So it's actually a really cool effect. And I was just interested to see how it would work and if it would be a cheap way to do some lightsabers, quick way. I mean, it is. It's how they did the original ones. And yeah, so it's just kind of a fun little experiment. 2 more lightsabers that are real bad. These I saw from like I'm not even really, I do have a TikTok, so follow, I think Curious George is my personal one, and then George Makes 3D, I want to say, is my 3D software one. But I saw a TikTok somewhere about making lightsabers for really cheap. This tubing's way too thick, and these are really clumsy and not super secure, but it's just, I can't remember how these are attached. There's literally just a flashlight in here. It's like there's a button. So it's really quick and really fun, but again, these cost more time and effort and money in the long run. I mean, they're still pretty cheap. And I got some flashlights, so I maybe just take those out and break them down for parts again. But yeah, it was a fun experiment. I do have 2 of these. I have this, which is supposed to be red, but turned out pink or purple. So let's go Mace Windu. And this one, which is blue, which is reading more as white. But yeah, so that's this one's a little more secure. The handle's not as interesting though. But yeah, just a flashlight in the bottom. So yeah, a little bit of fun. All right, 2 more training weapons. These are my S-Tech. I can't remember what brand that actually is. It just says S-Tech. So, but these I believe are Boken. Correct me if I'm wrong. But these I like. We use these occasionally for some of this HEMA sword training. I wanted more longsword ones that are like flatter, and have more of a cross guard on them. But these are fun. They are pretty well balanced, even though they're a little top heavy. But yeah, they're pretty cushiony. I mean, they're still not gonna be fun to get hit with, but doable. They do bounce, but you know, the foam is smooth, but still has a nice texture to it, so they do stick a bit. Yeah, I just like these, and they're just fun. For me, they're really great because I live in a smallish apartment, pretty small apartment, and I may have damaged some stuff swinging a full-size sword around, so these are pretty short, but they have the feel of like an actual sword, so they're easy to do full commitment, or even if I'm going slow, full commitment of like sword drills and stuff like that. So that's why I like these ones. We're going to finish up the sword rack, and then we're going to move on to the ones you've been watching behind. So now we're going to move on to some actual swords. First up, I have kind of 3 trainers. This guy, this wooden guy, who was actually a great use to me. I got this at the Medieval Torture Museum, and yeah, it's not super well made. I think it was like $15 something. It's pretty cheap. There's a little bit of rattle, so it's not super well made. But I got this when I was first learning HEMA, so I needed a training sword at home to practice some of the drills. I didn't really have, I mean, I had some of like my single swords and stuff, but this was a great use. It's pretty nice. Again, it's a little shorter than normally would be. You can't really use it for much, but just for like training drills and going through motions, it's decently weighted because it does have a pommel. So not the best, but it worked and it was pretty fun. So I like this little wooden guy. Next up, Cold Steel's sword trainers, and I might do a review on these. I haven't super used them in actual scenarios except for just at home. But the one thing I'll say is they are heavy. They are very heavy and not super well weighted. Like normally you want your balance point to be somewhere around here. The balance point for these is all the way out here. So they're not super well weighted. I got them because you can get the nice like synthetic trainers, but those are like $80 a piece usually at their cheapest. These were like 20, so I got 2 of them on sale. The thing that makes them so heavy is, I mean, it's all whatever material, plastic, rubbery material. I do like the style of them. I think that's really great. But there's no real weight in the hilt because it's just that same material. And then the blade, as you might be able to tell, is super thick. So that means the blade is all the weight is just in there. But again, for training and teaching people and going slow, which is great. So like keeping a constant tempo, but going commitment and really having to use your pommel hand. These are great for that, but as actual sword weighting or anything like that, they're not that great. All right, we're moving on up. Now this is one of my babies. This is Purple Heart, one of their trainers for longsword. And it's great. I love this guy. This is my HEMA sword. So this isn't a stage combat weapon. This is what I use for actual like dueling or sparring, and then classes and training and all that. So because of that, this is technically a real sword. It's just not sharp, as opposed to the other ones which are made for stage. This is made to be fought with. It's got a nice bend to it. The tip is rolled, as you can see, so it's stab people who are wearing gear or padding. Yeah, I really like this one. It's excellently weighted. Like again, just by the hilt. I really like a disc pommel, so I got a disc pommel. They have one that's tapered as well, but I like the disc. The grip's it's leather and it's really comfortable. And this is one that I've used a lot, and I just enjoy it. All right, so that's all of the sword rack done, and now we move on to the ones that are hanging. So I'll start with my 2 single swords here. Ooh. My 2 single swords here. And George, do this. My hanging system works great, except when you need to take things off one-handed. So I got 2 single swords. Again, these are just basically fencing parts. This one I bought. This is again Rogue Steel, which I got 3 years ago or something like that. It's great. Again, this one has like a sanded tip, or like it's been ground, so it looks great. It looks like it's actually a sword, and it's perfect for stage combat. This one is one I built myself from parts from Absolute Fencing, but you can see it has the flat tip that comes with training blade. So again, like my HEMA sword, you can actually stab people when they're wearing gear, of course, and they won't actually get hurt because it's a flat tip, like the pointy bit's flat. So yeah, so I just like these 2. These are great. They both work pretty darn well. The Absolute's a little heavier. Again, I might have if I get the parts, I might go through making actual single swords. I think it's great. It's a lot of fun. I like kind of just building the parts and stuff, but again, peace of mind, like buying them is also a great option too. But yeah, so my 2 single swords. And moving on, I gotta hang these back up. And lightsaber. This is the one I bought. I did not make this one. This one I really enjoy. I've used it a bit. It's got like sound fronts and everything. It lights up. I have it set to green right now, but it has multiple colors. It has sounds. There's a couple different sound, like I said, sound fonts or sound fronts. It's pretty nice. The only annoying thing is because there's so much like functionality in this, I also added all these O-rings to give the hand a little personality. is you have to hold it 4 seconds for it to turn off. So you have to go. And then it shuts off, which is just a little annoying when you think about choreography or doing any tricks. You have to like plan that in, but nothing too bad. I like this one. Again, the nice thing with these ones is because they are kind of light, you kind of really know when you're doing something wrong in terms of stage combat and safety and everything. And this one I think was like $100. I can't remember exactly where I got this. I think on Amazon from a seller. So yeah. Oh, I started this little bit from like a plumbing thing to give a little personality more than just a tube. All right, and then last but certainly not least is this boy. So this is my most recent buy, really. And this is a Rogue Steel as well. But this I again got recently. This is a long sword. It's pretty similar to my HEMA one. It's just a little bit longer handle, and a different pommel, and of course it's curved. And it's got green. It's got ray skin, which is leather, but from I believe stingrays, manta rays, whatever. It is really nice. It's green. Right now, I guess the current name is Kermit because of the green. It ain't easy being green, but we'll see as I actually use this if any personality comes out. I'm really happy with this one. Again, this one, because it is stage combat, doesn't really bend, and it has a pointy tip. It's all dull, but it's still a point, so you're not meant to stab people with this. Fake stab them, yes, not real stab them. But yeah, I really love this one. This is now the pride and joy of my collection right now, my little baby. Yeah, so that's it. That is all of my swords and knives and gear, not gear, but all my weapons, quote unquote, none of which are actually like sharpened or anything. But all my weapons going into 2023, what I've got so far. So we'll see how this collection of everything changes in the coming year. What gets added, what gets replaced, yada, yada, yada. And I'll probably maybe do an actual like full gear video of the stuff I actually use coming up, and maybe reviews too if I'm feeling it. So if you'd like to see any of that, leave a comment below. If there's anything you have questions about or you'd want to hear more about, leave that in the comment below as well. If you like this video, please do like it. And subscribe if you like this kind of content, this kind of two-camera, just talking through the stuff I use. There'll be more of this. There'll be more just random videos, stage combat, anything I'm kind of feeling. That sword rack build video is going to be coming out hopefully soon. So if you want to know how I built this thing to store everything, subscribe so you can see that when it comes out. All right, well, peace. I've been George. These have been my swords and knives and axes and all that jazz. And catch you next time. Peace.